Most of us have said the words, "I trust God." We've prayed them, written them in journals, maybe even posted them online. But then life throws something unexpected at us, a job loss, a broken relationship, a diagnosis, a silence where we expected an answer, and suddenly that trust feels a lot thinner than we thought. Here's the honest truth: saying you trust God is easy. Actually doing it, that's where most of us struggle. Because real trust doesn't just show up when things are going well. Real trust is what you choose when everything feels uncertain, and you still decide, "God, I'm going to hand this to you." Today I want to walk you through 6 things that genuinely begin to shift in your life when you get to that place. Not religious theory, not feel-good talk, real changes that you can actually feel and live. Number 1, a peace shows up that doesn't make sense. And I mean that literally. When you start truly trusting God, you'll notice a calmness that has no logical reason to be there. The problem is still real. The situation hasn't been resolved, but somehow you're not drowning in it the way you used to. Philippians 4:7 describes it as a peace that goes beyond human understanding. It's not the peace that comes from having answers. It's the peace that comes from knowing the one who holds all the answers. You stop waking up at 3 a.m. running through worst-case scenarios. You stop trying to mentally solve problems that aren't yours to solve. Not because you don't care, but because something deeper in you has settled. God's got this, and somehow you actually believe it. That peace becomes one of the most valuable things in your life, because the world can't give it to you, and more importantly, the world can't take it away. Number 2, you loosen your grip on control. This one is hard because control feels like safety. We think if we plan enough, prepare enough, and overthink enough, we can guarantee a good outcome. But at some point, most of us have learned the hard way: we were never as in control as we thought. Proverbs 3:5 says, "Trust God with everything in you, and stop relying only on what you can figure out yourself." That's an invitation to breathe, to stop carrying the weight of trying to manage outcomes that were never fully in your hands. Letting go of control doesn't mean becoming passive. You still show up, you still work hard, you still make decisions, but you stop white-knuckling every result. You do your part, and then you actually trust God with the rest. And something unexpected happens when you get there. You feel lighter. The anxiety of needing to figure everything out starts to lift, and you begin to move through life with a quiet steadiness instead of constant, exhausting striving. Number 3, difficult seasons stop breaking you and start building you. Here's something that changes when trust becomes real. Your relationship with hard times completely shifts. You still don't enjoy them. Nobody does. But instead of feeling like something has gone terribly wrong, you start recognizing that something important might actually be happening. James 1:3 tells us that when our faith is tested, it produces perseverance. And perseverance is what shapes us into people who can handle more, give more, and become more. Before real trust, a hard season would shake everything. Now you move through it differently. You start asking different questions, not just why is this happening, but what is being developed in me through this. That's not a denial of pain, it's a deeper understanding of purpose. And over time, the things you once feared the most become the things you're most grateful for, because they're what God used to change you. Number 4, you stop being terrified of the future. A lot of people are living in a constant low-level fear of what's ahead. What if it doesn't work out? What if I make the wrong choice? What if everything falls apart? That kind of thinking is exhausting, and it robs you of the present while trying to control something you can't touch yet. Matthew 6:34 reminds us that God is already in tomorrow. You don't need to go there in your mind 1,000 times today trying to prepare for every possible version of it. When you genuinely trust God, you don't stop caring about your future. You stop fearing it. You move forward making decisions, taking steps, living your life, but from a place of confidence instead of dread. The future goes from feeling like something to survive to something you can actually walk into, with your head up. Number 5, you start moving when God says move. Trust and obedience are tied together. You can't really have one without the other. Isaiah 1:19 says that if you are willing and obedient, you'll experience what God has prepared for you. And what God has prepared is always better than what we would have settled for on our own. When you trust God, you get better at recognizing His direction, through scripture, through a quiet conviction, through a door opening or closing, and instead of hesitating out of fear, you start responding. Sometimes obedience looks bold, stepping into something completely new. Sometimes it looks quiet, letting go of something you've held onto too long, forgiving someone who doesn't deserve it, choosing integrity when it costs you something. But every time you take that step, your trust grows. because you start seeing that God's direction isn't about restriction. It's about leading you somewhere better than where you were trying to go alone. Number 6, you start seeing God work in ways that genuinely surprise you. This one might be the best one. Ephesians 3:20 says God is able to do more than we could ask or even imagine. But here's the catch: our need to control everything often limits the space we give Him to work. When you finally release your grip, things start happening that you didn't engineer. A door opens at exactly the right time. A conversation leads somewhere unexpected. A situation resolves in a way you never would have thought to pray for. You start noticing it more. Small moments where God's hand is clearly in something. Provision that came out of nowhere. Protection you didn't even know you needed. And your gratitude deepens, because you realize the things that once caused you the most stress have now become your most powerful testimony. God didn't just bring you through, He used it for something. So here's the full picture. When you trust God completely, a peace settles in you that the world didn't give and can't take. You stop exhausting yourself trying to control what was never fully yours to control. Hard seasons become the things that shape you instead of break you. Fear of the future loses its grip. You respond to God's leading with confidence instead of hesitation, and you start witnessing God move in ways you never could have planned. Your life doesn't become perfect, but it becomes grounded, stable, purposeful. You stop reacting to everything from a place of fear and start living from a place of real faith. Psalm 37:5 says it simply: commit your way to the Lord, trust in Him, and He will act. That's a promise, not a suggestion. God sees what you can't see right now. He is working in things that haven't made sense to you yet, and as you keep choosing trust, one decision at a time, His faithfulness will show up in your life in ways that will leave you with nothing to say except thank you. If this landed for you, share it with someone who needs it, and drop in the comments, God, I trust you. Make it a decision, not just a phrase. You're not alone in this. Keep going, keep trusting. God is already ahead of you. Before you scroll away, I want to ask you something real. Is there an area of your life right now where you've been holding on instead of trusting God? A situation you've been trying to control, worry about, or figure out completely on your own? If the answer is yes, this is your moment. Not tomorrow, not when things get better, right now. Type "I trust you, God" in the comments, not as a religious phrase, as a declaration, as a decision you are making today that something in you is shifting. And if this message gave you even one thing to hold on to, subscribe, because every week I put out messages designed to help you stop surviving your faith and actually live it. Real talk, real truth, no fluff. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so you never miss a message, and share this video with one person in your life who needs to hear it today. You showing up here was not an accident. Stay connected. God's got more for you.